She never imagined she'd leave Wall Street. Erin Burnett was a numbers girl, sharp, focused, climbing the ranks at Goldman Sachs with her eyes on the prize. Finance was her world, till one article changed everything. It came from her sister and brother-in-law, just a simple piece about Willow Bay farmer model turned CNN anchor. Most people would have just skimmed it. Erin, she sat down and wrote what she later called a stalker letter. Not to complain, not to network, to ask for a shot. And guess what? Willow Bay wrote back. Not only that she invited Erin in, that one meeting flipped her entire life upside down. They hired her first in research, a perfect fit for Erin's background in banking. But soon, something clicked. People saw it. Erin didn't belong behind the scenes. She was meant for the spotlight. From there, it was like watching a star on the rise. Bria Bartiromo brought her into CNBC. Suddenly, Erin was at the heart of financial news, walking the halls of Five Penn Plaza, just steps from Madison Square Garden. She wasn't just observing the action. She was the action, and while her career was taking off, her personal life took a surprise turn too. A blind date in 2004 introduced her to David Rubalata. She says the moment she saw him, her first thought was, "I hope that's him." Spoiler alert, it was, and it stuck. By 2005, Erin was no longer just a promising analyst turned researcher. She was in front of the camera at CNBC, holding her own next to the legendary Mark N on street signs. Her confidence, unshakable. Her delivery, razor sharp. Viewers noticed. So did her competitors. Then came the leap. The risky one. In 2011, Erin walked away from a comfortable spot at CNBC and made the jump to CNN. For some, it looked bold. For Erin, it was full circle. As a kid in Mardella Springs, she used to dream of becoming one of the anchors she'd watch on CNN during trips to DC. Now, she was one of them. From a blind letter to a national platform, Erin Burnett had gone from finance prodigy to primetime news authority. Her show Erin Burnett Out Front became a staple of evening news, and her presence unmistakable. And with that kind of resume, that kind of visibility, and that kind of influence, the question everyone wants answered is, how much does Erin Burnett actually make? Stick around, so what you're about to hear might just surprise you. She used to stare up at the giant CNN clock towering over the New York skyline. To her, it wasn't just a logo. It was a symbol of everything she wanted: credibility, prestige, power. Now, she was walking through those doors. CNN had just announced her as the network's new chief business and economics correspondent. But that wasn't all. Erin Burnett was getting her own primetime show. A daily spotlight. National exposure. Pressure like never before. Will Surratt, the executive producer behind major names like Anderson Cooper and Donnie Deutsch, was brought on board to launch the show. For him, it was a mix of adrenaline and anxiety. In cable news, only two things mattered: personality and performance. No, and if there wasn't chemistry between anchor and producer, it didn't matter how good the stories were, the show would flop. But Surratt believed Erin was different. Smart, tough, unapologetically sharp. They were ready to go out front, and then came the backlash. Her debut episode dropped her straight into the heart of Occupy Wall Street. Tense, signs, chants, raw energy on every corner. But Erin's tone, cool, dismissive, too many, even mocking. Viewers didn't just disagree, they were furious. Media Matters called it a cheap shot. Michael Moore came out swinging. Twitter lit up. By nightfall, Erin was back on air, addressing the criticism head-on. But the damage was already spreading. The Baltimore Sun accused her of being smug and out of touch. Forbes slammed her for smirking at protesters, many of whom were actually CNN's own viewers. Glenn Greenwald went even deeper, calling her career a blueprint of corporate media grooming. Where objectivity took a backseat to brand alignment and the ratings, it told their own story. 10 days in, viewership had plummeted by 30%. The critical 25 to 54 Demaware advertisers live dropped to just 67,000. CBS News even published a so-called Erin Burnett disaster timeline. The question wasn't just, can she recover? It was, should she have been given the show in the first place? But while her public image was taking blow after blow, Erin's personal life told a different story. December 2012, just days before Christmas season, she and longtime partner David Rubalota, cherished Erin, finally walked down the aisle. No celebrity guest list, no flashy headlines, just family, close friends, and a moment that reminded her what really mattered. Sometimes, behind the glare of studio lights and relentless headlines, real life quietly delivers exactly what you need. So, did Erin Burnett bounce back, or was this the beginning of the end? Stick around, because what happened next not only saved her career, it might just be the reason she's still on your screen today. Forget a big fancy wedding with chandeliers and champagne fountains. Erin Burnett and David Rubalota went to City Hall. Guests wore everything from cocktail dresses to jeans. Erin, she skipped the traditional white gown and showed up in a bold red dress. No glitz, no pressure, just something simple, personal, and perfectly them. After that, life took on a new rhythm. In 2013, they welcomed their first child, Neil Thomas. 2 years later came their daughter, Colby Isabel. And in 2018, their youngest, Owen Thomas, completed the family. Motherhood changed everything. Suddenly, breaking news wasn't just headlines, it was personal. Stories involving children hit harder. Tragedies felt closer. And the future, it mattered more than ever. Erin has talked openly about that shift. How parenting rewired the way she thinks. How she no longer sees herself as part of the next generation, but as someone shaping the world her kids will grow up in. And yet, even as a mother of 3, her schedule stayed brutal. Most mornings start before the sun's even up 2 a.m. It's 3 a.m., sometimes 5. She scanned the global headlines, catch maybe a half-hour nap. Then it's time to wake the kids, make breakfast, get them off to school. Her show doesn't air until 7 p.m., but she's on all day, writing, reading, recording. Planning, she gets home around 8:30 at night, just in time for hugs and bedtime stories. But sometimes, work pulls her away. Far away, like when Russia invaded Ukraine. What was supposed to be a quick assignment turned into 2 long, emotionally grueling weeks in a war zone. Well, she missed her family deeply, but she didn't apologize for the absence. In her words, it mattered that her children understood why she was gone. That truth and the pursuit of it was worth something. By 2021, Erin hit a milestone few in cable news ever reach. 10 years as host of Erin Burnett Out Front. For her, it wasn't just about being on air for a decade, it was coming full circle. She started her journalism career at CNN. After everything, she was still standing, still telling stories, still reaching millions of viewers every night. But the CNN of today, it's not the same place she joined. Back then, it was a breaking news machine, a reaction outlet. Now, as Erin puts it, CNN is a place people stay with, not just tune into during a crisis. It's evolved, and so is she. Her 7 p.m. time slot is a tricky one. Families are eating dinner. Parents are wrangling bedtime. It's not prime time. And it's not background noise hours either. But she carved out something unique, a space for real news, real interviews, and real conversations. While Fox and MSNBC leaned heavily into opinion and punditry, Erin took a different path. Her show, built on analysis and tough questions. That bet paid off. Out Front became one of CNN's top 3 most-watched shows in the coveted 25 to 54 age group, beating even MSNBC's Joy Reid in that slot. What sets her apart isn't just ratings. Restraint. Erin doesn't see herself as an opinion host. But she also doesn't shy away from uncomfortable truths. She's called out Republicans spreading anti-vaccine rhetoric. She's challenged Biden officials on U.S. ties to Saudi Arabia. She sat across from the Treasury Secretary during high-stakes debt ceiling debates and held the line. But some of her most unforgettable moments weren't political, they were human. During the darkest days of the COVID-19 pandemic, she interviewed a woman named Maura Linger, whose husband Joe died from the virus. Maura described having to say goodbye over FaceTime. Erin couldn't hold it together. Crichton. Erin struggled to keep going. It was a reminder, journalists aren't robots. Sometimes the weight of the world doesn't stay in the studio. When the cameras go off, the pandemic changed her, softened her, sharpened her, redefined what kind of journalist she wanted to be. And with change, came backlash. Online trolls came hard, accusing her of phoning it in, of being out of touch, or worse. She says she's learned to tune it out, but even now, the personal attacks can sting still. Nothing prepared her for what came next. In 2021, Erin Burnett began receiving relentless, terrifying death threats. Not vague insults or anonymous hate mail, but full-on threats from a man named Nicholas Ryan Hedgecoe Sullivan. And it didn't stop after one message. It dragged on. For months, the threats didn't stop with nasty tweets or anonymous emails. Erin Burnett was targeted with violent messages, many aimed not just at her, but at her family. The man behind it, hiding behind fake accounts, insisted he wasn't dangerous. Authorities disagreed. As the FBI got involved, Erin did what she always does, kept showing up, kept reporting, kept telling the stories that mattered, even when those stories were soul-dash crushing. One moment, in 2022, broke through even her seasoned composure. She was interviewing a Ukrainian man. Serhei Perbediny's, his wife and 2 children, had just been killed trying to escape the Russian invasion. He wasn't with them, he'd been in eastern Ukraine, caring for his sick mother. His family tried to flee on foot after their convoy came under fire. They didn't make it. His wife Tishiana wasn't just a statistic. She was a tech company executive, a mother, a cyclist, a woman who loved planting flowers at their countryside cottage. She and Serhei had renewed their vows in 2012 to make our love lawful in the skies. He said she was 43 when she died. When Erin asked him about their children, his voice cracked. Makita was 18, studying programming. Lisa was just 9, loved to dance, paint, and learn English. And how did he find out they were gone? Google Maps. He was tracking their location and noticed it had stopped. Then he saw a photo online, recognized their clothes, their backpacks. That's how he knew. That moment stopped time. On air, Erin Burnett broke down. She tried to keep going, but the weight of it all, the war, the loss, the silence between questions was too much. Some viewers called it unprofessional, others called it human. The clip went viral, not because it was sensational, but because it was real. She wasn't just reading headlines, she was living them, feeling them, and putting a face to what so many had started to tune out. But showing empathy and telling the truth came at a cost. In 2023, Erin Burnett's name hit international headlines again. This time she was banned from Russia. The Kremlin released a list: 500 Americans barred from entering the country. The official reason? Retaliation for U.S. sanctions, but the message was loud and clear. Burnett was grouped with Barack Obama, Steph Myers, and a number of other journalists. The ban had little to do with January 6th, as the Russian ministry claimed. It was about Ukraine. It was about media. It was about silencing voices. Erin addressed the ban live on her show Direct. Unshaken, she told viewers exactly what it meant and why it only made her more committed to reporting on the war. Because for her, the work isn't about politics, it's about people. She believes journalism should mean something. That holding power accountable, whether in Washington or Moscow, is worth the risk, even if that risk makes you a target. Thanks for the detailed final section. Here's your rewritten viral-ready conclusion of the YouTube script, delivering a powerful climax to Erin Burnett's story, complete with controversy, resilience, and a final money reveal that gives the audience what they've been waiting for. This version is dramatic, it's engaging, and emotionally charged, perfect for viral video narration, with a strong close to keep viewers hooked through the last seconds. By late 2023, the tension between media and politics wasn't just simmering, it was boiling over. And Erin Burnett was right in the thick of it. When Donald Trump described immigration as poisoning the blood of our country, Burnett didn't hold back. She drew a direct line to rhetoric once used by Adolf Hitler and called it out. Live during an interview with Congressman Anthony Desposito. The congressman awkwardly admitted it was not the best choice of words, but the clip exploded. And of course, Trump noticed. Within hours, he lit up Truth Social, attacking Burnett, mocking her ratings and calling her show boring. It echoed his old attacks on Mika Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough, and anyone else who dared to challenge him. But the message was clear. Burnett had struck a nerve. Then came another storm in 2024. Burnett read a disturbing report from The Atlantic. Live on Air, one that claimed Trump had once dismissed funeral costs for slain soldier. Vanessa Guillen with an offensive comment about her heritage. Burnett read the alleged slur uncensored. Then she paused. She apologized. Some praised her for not sanitizing the moment. Others said it was too raw for cable. Either way, people were watching. The clip went viral not because of what she said, but how she said it, and then came the interview that split the internet in two. Robert Kennedy Jr. was running for president, but he was also serving in Trump's cabinet, a contradiction that Burnett couldn't ignore. So she asked him the tough question. What did it cost you? Then she played a clip of his own sister, filmmaker Rory Kennedy, warning that his campaign could hand the election to Trump. The look on RFK Jr.'s face said it all. He tried to deflect, tropping supportive relatives. But the tension was thick. Some viewers applauded Burnett for pushing hard. Others said it was too personal. But that wasn't the moment that nearly broke her. That came in July 2025, during a tragedy that stunned New York City. A 27-year-old man named Shane D. Tamora stormed a midtown skyscraper with a rifle, killing a police officer and 3 civilians before taking his own life. The building wasn't just any office tower. It housed Blackstone and the NFL's global headquarters. Footage from outside was chaos, people running for cover, police flooding the streets, sirens wailing. Burnett was anchoring live when it happened. As details trickled in, she repeated early information from law enforcement sources that suggested the suspect was possibly white. Others claimed he might be Middle Eastern. Security footage showed a man with sunglasses, a rifle, the dark complexion, but nothing was confirmed yet. Social media exploded. People accused CNN of reckless reporting. Some claimed Burnett had jumped to conclusions. Others used it as proof of their long-standing fake news narrative. Her name trended for hours. But once again, Erin Burnett didn't flinch, and neither did CNN, despite the outrage. She remains one of the network's top earners, pulling in around $6 million a year. That makes her the 14th highest-paid news anchor in the country, and with smart investments, book deals, and brand partnerships over the years, her estimated net worth is now over $20 million. Love her or not, one thing's for sure, Erin Burnett isn't just reading the headlines anymore, she's making them. Thanks for watching. If this story kept you hooked, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. In the world of power, politics, and the people who shape the news, see you in the next one.